Good morning, and I'm back here at Kingshouse Junction for the start of day 3. Right, let's get cracking. Well, just before I got the bus from Killin this morning, I managed to get some footage of the Falls of Docket. Not big waterfalls, but it's quite an attractive natural feature with more like large cascades over loads of natural rocks and boulders and stuff. Pretty cool. It's quite a visitor attraction, and maybe I'll end up there later today in the early evening sunshine, so it'll be contrasting images. The walk for this morning is following this gently meandering cycle track again. It's more like a cinder surface than tarmac this morning, so it's all good. And then climbing up past Loch Earn Head and ascending on a good gradient up through Glen Ogle on the old railway line. And then this afternoon the path splits and you've got options and the nature of the walk changes, but we'll leave that till later. Ah yes, after a short way you get here, and the Rob Roy Way continues down there. You can see a little blue sign there, but you can actually, there's an option to go left, so you can go up here, and this is the route of the old railway line. It's not waymarked, but it does have a few advantages, and it's quite a good option. So I am here at the moment, and you can see the red dotted line meandering along towards Loch Earn Head there, but you can see this black dash line straight here, and then a nice graceful arc around, and then look at it following the contours of the hill round there. That's the old railway line, and the advantages are you get a little bit further away from the road earlier, and you avoid these steep zigzags here later on.
Well, the dog is on the window, the cat is on the floor, everyone is having a party on the moor. They're up all night until their feet get wet, wake up in the morning and their head is in a mess. I said you're rolling on the heather and you're dancing on the hill. The girls are doing a Highland fling. You pick up all the rubbish and you put it in the bin, cause if you don't then that's a sin. And that's the way we do it, the way we do it in the Western Isles. And that's the way we do it, the way we do it in the Western Isles.
Very nice walking along this old railway line. It's not too hard. The centre bit I'm on now is almost turfed, very grassy and comfortable underfoot. Another advantage of coming this way rather than following the way is that, having come along a bit, I noticed that the way dips down into the glen, and that explains the steep zigzags later on. So this is a pretty good option. Oh, and I've just seen the view of Loch Earn, so even better, recommended. I think this is where it meets back up with the cycleway. Yeah, looks like it. On reflection, going down to Loch Earn Head on the normal route of the trail is not a bad way. There's accommodation down there. I think there's probably a shop down there. The bus stops, and you probably get a slightly better full width view of Loch Earn from there, maybe halfway up those zigzags. So, you know, You take your choice, and it's all good. Danger. For 3 miles, route follows old railway across steep terrain prone to erosion, slides and falls. Oof. Aha! I've reached Glen Ogle Viaduct. Looks great. It would have been quite a sight seeing steam trains come along here, and the whistle, I guess, would have echoed off the rock faces on either side. All round cool. I've reached the top of the pass, or nearly the top of the pass anyway, and I've just had a little mini break by this lochen here, and it looks idyllic, doesn't it? It's right next to the road, unfortunately, so I'm gonna keep going a little bit further away from the road up into the forest and have a proper break then. So come on then. 7 miles in, and this is where the trail splits. Down to the left is all downhill all the way to Killin, and up to the right goes around the side of the hill with a bit of ascent up to a reservoir, and that's the way that I'm going. If you didn't know that, this signpost might be a bit confusing. Look, it shows both directions. Thankfully, I know which way I'm going. I'm climbing pretty well today. Mind, the gradient helps all the way up from the valley, but yeah, feeling strong. A few tantalising views down the fire breaks. That's the direction of Killin to the north and the hills beyond, and looking steeply up to the hill that I'm going around. I'm glad I'm going around it. I've come to a much wider logging road, and I can just about see the start of Loch Tay down there. I'm not sure if you can, through the trees, but there's the way marker, and this is a steeper bit of ascent. I was reading on the map, so time to get my head down. About 10 miles in, and the first wide open view. It's a bit hazy, but that Ben Moor over there on the left, a big pointy one, I know that because it's near Crean Larrick. Like I say, it's a bit hazy, the view, but oh, it's nice to get your head above the trees. Whew. Nice lofty perch here. Found a few rocks here to sit on, away from the trees a little bit anyway, and a bit of a view, and it's warming up too. Another lovely day. I don't know how long this break's going to be because there's quite a few flies around, but nowhere near as many as I thought there'd be. Actually, I thought there'd be loads of midges on this walk, but hardly any at all really. Anyway, the latest review. I've got a nut bar, another one for you. I've been looking forward to this. It's Kellogg's Crunchy Nut Butter Bar. Let's give this one a go then. Doesn't feel as heavy as that that one I had yesterday, that caramel one, which was a bit thick and sickly. Not sickly, just a bit rich. This one feels a bit lighter, as you might expect. But there's a texture. Crunchier, peanuttier. Oh, it's got hazelnuts in as well. Not peanuts, sorry. Bit of chocolate, but not as thick and sweet as yesterday's one. A better and more of a mix. Oh, that's very nice. What am I going to give this then? Oh, 8.5 out of 10. On we go then. Next stop is the reservoir. And here is where the Rob Roy Way comes up directly up the hill from Killin and rejoins with the route that I've taken. So on we go, rejoined. There's the forest left behind. Climbed up to a different looking landscape now. It's more heathland, moorland landscape. But of course the reservoir dominates it, and the dam. I know it's functional, but it's not very picturesque, is it? Still, you can't have everything. Looks like a fair few people have wild camped here. It's not a bad spot. It's flat. It's a bit of a breeze today, but it might be a bit exposed at other times, but you know, at least you're out of the forest. With an ample water supply nearby. Water level's pretty low, looking at the shoreline and that tower. This is the most remote part of the trail so far, and I think actually the whole way, unless you do the extension further on. But anyway, this is high up and remote, so I like it actually. There's solitude up here. I said there would be solitude, didn't I? It didn't seem like that in some of the previous towns and villages that I've been through. Of course the area is very popular with day trippers and holiday makers, and why not? It's beautiful. But you know, it's just so peaceful up here, and you have to work hard to get up here, so the reward seems a bit better, you know.
That's the way we like our tunes. 5 o'clock till 3 a.m. That's the way it's always been, and that's the way we do it, and that's the way we do it, and that's the way we do it, the way we do it in the Western Isles.
So I got to the corner of the big pipeline, and I got to admit it took longer than I was expecting. But anyway, when you get to that big cornerstone, you hop over the ditch, and the way ahead is just down there. And that's Loch Tay. A little bit hazy, but it's still a pretty good view. Oh, I'm glad to be back down off the marshland. It's quite dry, to be honest, wasn't bad, but it's never much fun, is it? Trudging across marshland. So I'm on the farmer's track now, approaching the lake shore eventually. Right. So I made it down to the road, and this is the Ardeonaig Hotel. Oh, I made it down to the loch shore at last. It's a pretty big loch by the looks of things. And beautiful too. Look at that. So that's the end of my day 3 here at Ardeonaig Hotel. I'm just waiting for my lift to get picked up to go back to Killin, and I'll see you in the morning. I'm back in Killin where I left my car, and as promised, a few of those late afternoon sunshine shots of the Falls of Docket. So I'll see you tomorrow.